For a solid 2 years now, standalone devices like the Quest 2 have dominated over the VR market, bringing in new users from all over the world and making an affordable option for those seeking the extra dimension. Even I started with the original Quest, and it was a solid gateway to the ever-expanding world of VR. For the majority of this time, Meta has reigned supreme over most other headsets, both in Steam VR user base and general market share, with other companies being limited to the hardware they could produce at the time for prices that just were not up to spec with what Meta was able to do. One of these other companies is Pico, and today they aim to crush the dreams of a standalone headset monopoly in the virtual reality business with their newest release of the Pico 4. A brand new headset with specs that we just have not seen before at this price point. It keeps the cost below a Quest 2, weighing less than half of my Valve Index, and all while boasting an impressive resolution of 2160 by 2160 per eye, seen through crystal clear pancake lenses. Even to those used to higher end hardware, the Pico 4 seems like quite an intriguing new piece of tech. I was just as impressed by the spec sheet as most of us are, so I decided to make my most expensive YouTube video to date and buy one to take a very close look at. Luckily, I was just in time before literally every store around me sold out of these virtual viewers, and when it arrived, I immediately took the time to unpack it. Taking the Pico out of the box felt somewhat strange. Even though this is obviously an impressive standalone headset, the power-packed Pico 4 weighed so little you almost start to wonder if it came from Wish.com, though that train of thought quickly disappeared as you held it in your hand for longer. Both the headset and controllers felt sturdy and of high-quality materials, making you feel at ease as it confirms it was in fact not a Wish.com purchase. It was also immediately apparent how different these new pancake lenses are, their sheer size making me excited to see what they can offer to my eyes. And having mounted the added light leakage blocking nose blinds, I put on the headset and tightened the strap. And when booted up, I fully understand why so many of us looked forward to this headset. The setting up of your play space is as easy as you think it would be, and the high-resolution, full-color pass-through was a nice feature to be shown at the very start of using this device. Speaking of nice features, the IPD adjustment is not only a physical change instead of the software version we have seen in the past, but it also feels absolutely premium when it whirs back and forth as you select your desired IPD setting. It should also be mentioned that the IPD range can go smaller than initially apparent, but they warn it could pinch your nose in the process. Loading into the main menu, it was clear to me how much of a step forward these new pancake lenses are. A little while ago, I asked you guys if you would rather have a wide field of view or high-resolution display, if you had to choose. But luckily, the Pico 4 offers both an FOV comparable to the Valve Index and an edge-to-edge clarity I personally have not seen before in other headsets, let alone a standalone headset for this price. As the budget for this video was kind of already exceeded, I spent some time in free-to-play experiences for the standalone capabilities of the Pico 4. And even though the Pico store does not offer a library as big as that of Meta, it was obvious that the hardware did not lack and everything ran as smooth as you would expect. The controllers felt solid and fit my hand really well. The headset itself also lasted a while when fully charged, and you can expect your play sessions to end before the headset has to charge again. But for me, this is kind of where all the good points end. For the price, this is an absolutely awesome and powerful standalone headset. And granted, standalone capabilities is exactly what it was made for. But apart from findings related to just the usage of the headset, I would also like to mention a couple things from my skeptical PCVR enthusiast kind of perspective. For starters, I hear so many people talking about how amazingly comfortable the Pico 4 is. And even though it weighs almost nothing, I found the comfort to be quite lacking instead. The head strap is so rigid, I always somewhat felt the headset wasn't really correctly positioned on my forehead, and I kept having the urge to move it around to find a better place on my face. The padding on the back is so anti-slip, it almost pulls your hair out when putting the headset on, and the facial interface, though not leaking any light for me personally, was pushing so hard into my forehead that after an hour of playing, it actually hurt, and I felt relieved to pull it off again. Something a front-heavy Quest never gave me the problems on. But then again, this probably heavily depends on my gigantic head. But something else not related to my head size would be the audio, which seemed to be quite lacking in depth no matter how I positioned the strap around my ears. It was even more of a hassle for me personally, as the headset does not come with any integrated auxiliary ports for headphones, and I don't own any Bluetooth devices. I really hope and believe future aftermarket products will give you option to change things in terms of comfort and sound while providing new facial interfaces for the Pico 4. But for me, out of the box, it was just not the most pleasant experience. Apart from not being able to wear the headset for longer than an hour, the PCVR side of things was also not looking that good. You can initially use the Pico streaming assistant for wireless or wired PCVR, which sounds like a great option if you want to use this headset for more beefy VR games. To me, it sounds like an absolute dream to use these lenses in this resolution for my usual PCVR experiences, but as soon as I linked it with either a cable or a really good 5 GHz dedicated router, it showed me muddy image quality and nothing I did could enhance the viewing experiences of their streaming app, making the high resolution kind of unnecessary.
Oh yeah, and this is what the microphone sounds like from the Pico through the streaming assistant.
Whereas this is how the microphone is supposed to sound like, at least through virtual desktop. It seems, for now at least, that virtual desktop is by far the best method of getting PCVR out of the Pico 4. Spending my last couple euros on a router and the application, I could finally enjoy the higher resolution displays and the clear pancake lenses. And if you were to pair this headset with something like index controllers, it would make for a really interesting PCVR setup, all wireless. I do believe that most of these issues can be solved with either third-party accessories or software updates as time goes on, and overall the headset is an awesome bit of tech. The new lenses are amazing at showing off the high-resolution displays in full clarity, and the standalone capabilities are absolutely on par with what is expected in the market these days. For this price then, the Pico 4 is a headset I would wholeheartedly recommend to anyone looking to get into VR for the first time. A really good alternative to the currently more expensive Quest 2. And who isn't against a company trying to compete with Meta in the space of VR? Because this is most likely one of the many catalysts we will come across that give a nudge in the direction of a future in affordable new hardware that gets better and better over time. From a PC VR side of things, as of now, I would just say,